Hi ka-learners! It's time for another lesson. For this lesson, the objective is for you to be informed of your rights and responsibilities as a worker. If you are part of the workforce right now, you can immediately use the knowledge that you will gain here. If you are not yet working, this will guide you once you do. Mahalagang maging malinaw sa inyo ang inyong karapatan bilang manggagawa. These rights are provided for in the Philippine Constitution and the Labor Code of the Philippines because the government recognizes labor as a major economic force. It provides policies to protect the rights of the workers. Yet, there are still many cases of workers' rights being violated. To remedy this situation, as a worker, you need to be alert in safeguarding your rights. Bukod sa pangangalaga ng inyong sariling karapatan bilang manggagawa, mapoprotektahan nyo rin ang inyong mga kaibigan at kapamilya na manggagawa rin. In this lesson, you will learn about the rights as a worker and laws that uphold these rights. After completing this lesson, you should be able to identify and explain your basic rights as a worker and cite laws that uphold your rights. We start off our discussion with an entry from the Philippine Constitution. Article 3 of the Labor Code states, "The state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment, ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, and regulate the relations between workers and employers. The state shall assure the rights of workers to self-organization, collective bargaining, security of tenure, and just and human conditions of work." Who are considered as workers? Workers include fishermen, butchers o mga ngatay, magsasaka, mensahero, managers, secretaries, accountants, karpintero, at marami pang iba. Under Article 13 of the Labor Code, a worker is defined as any member of the labor force, whether employed or unemployed. Kung ikaw ay nasa empleyo man o hindi, kung ikaw ay manggagawa, may karapatan ka. Part 1. Basic Rights of Workers. When you have a newborn or newly adopted baby, or when a loved one is seriously ill, your most important job may be at home rather than at work. Article 133 of the Labor Code of the Philippines provides pregnant women with maternity leave benefits. Under this law, a woman employee who has worked for the same employer for at least 6 months for the last 12 months may be given leave. Such leave may be at least 2 weeks before the expected delivery date and 60 days after normal delivery. Those who give birth by cesarean section are given 75 days to recover from the operation. The maternity leave shall be extended without pay on account of illness arising from pregnancy, delivery, abortion, or miscarriage, which renders the woman unfit for work. If she has earned unused leave credits, then such extended leave may be charged against them. For maternity leaves, it is best to always check what the updated policies are as soon as you are planning to have a child. Employers are prohibited from dismissing female workers or employees on account of pregnancy, or while on leave or in confinement due to her pregnancy. Part 2. Wages and Benefits. Workers and employees have the right to receive a satisfactory wage for the work or service that they have rendered. We cite another entry from the Constitution, Articles 97 to 98 of the Labor Code, which states that wage is earning capable of being expressed in terms of money. It is payable by an employer to an employee under a written or unwritten contract of employment for work done or to be done. It is supposed to be of fair and reasonable value as determined by the Secretary of Labor. Aside from wages, regular workers are entitled to the following benefits. Number 1. wage-related or income benefits. Overtime pay is pay given for service or work performed that shall exceed the regular 8 hours of work. Service incentive leave is a 5-day leave with pay given every year after 1 year of service. Holiday pay is days pay given by law to an employee even if he or she does not work on a regular holiday. If the worker comes to work on a regular holiday, she earns extra pay equivalent to his or her regular rate. 13th-month pay. Employees, workers who have rendered service or worked for at least 1 month for the same employer are entitled to receive an amount equivalent to 1 month pay. The employer must pay the employee not later than December 24 of every year. Number 2. Social Security Service SSS benefits. The Social Security Service SSS was created under Republic Act 1161. The act requires that all employees or workers in the private sector throughout the country contribute fixed and regular contributions to the SSS. Government employees are covered by Government Service Insurance System or GSIS. Here are the benefits that workers can get from them. Letter A. Maternity. B. Sickness. C. Disability. D. Retirement. E. Death and disability. Number 3. Employees Compensation Commission ECC benefits. For illnesses, injuries, and deaths that are work-related, compensation shall be given by the ECC. These include disability, rehabilitation, death, and funeral benefits. Part 3. Security of tenure. Workers cannot be dismissed without just and authorized causes. This is in keeping with the worker's right to security of tenure. Tenure is a term which means keeping an employee in his or her position and protecting him or her from being dismissed without a valid reason. In cases of regular employment, the employer shall not terminate the services of an employee except for a just cause or when authorized by law, as stated by Article 279 of the Labor Code. Here is a list of the just causes as stated by the law. Number 1. Serious misconduct or willful, intentional disobedience. Number 2. Gross and habitual, done frequently, neglect by the employee of his duties. Number 3. Fraud or dishonesty and loss of confidence. Number 4. Committing a crime or offense. And number 5. Other causes similar to those given. On the other hand, an employee may be dismissed or terminated for any of the following authorized causes. Number 1. Installation of labor-saving devices. The company may buy devices or machineries that will help speed up production and thereby perform the task usually done by some workers. Number 2. Redundancy. A redundant position may be the outcome of overhiring of workers, decreased volume of business, dropping of particular product line or service, and others. Number 3. Retrenchment to prevent losses. An employer may retrench or terminate employees to avoid or minimize business losses. Number 4. Closing or cessation of operation of establishment or undertaking, unless the closing is for the purpose of circumventing the provisions of law. A company which has suffered from financial losses and as a result has to close or stop the operation of its business may terminate its employees. Part 4. Due process. The worker's right to due process is also provided for in the Constitution. It orders that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. one's job or work is considered as one's property. Therefore, one cannot be deprived of it without observing the proper legal procedure. In deciding to dismiss or terminate an employee, the employer must follow this procedure. Step 1. Observe the worker's right to security of tenure. No worker shall be dismissed except for a just and authorized cause. Is there a just or authorized cause for dismissing the employee? The employer would know through a proper investigation. Step 2. Serve a notice of dismissal. A written notice of dismissal shall be served to the employee stating that particular acts or omission constituting the grounds for his or her dismissal. Step 3. Conduct an investigation and a hearing. The employer shall give the worker a chance to answer the charges and defend himself or herself. If he or she wishes, he or she can get the assistance of a legal representative. Step 4. Decision to dismiss. The employer will inform the employee in writing of his or her decision to dismiss the said employee. Step 5. The worker should be given the right to contest the dismissal. The employee has the right to contest the legality or validity of the dismissal by filing a case at the regional branch of the National Labor Relations Commission (NLRC) of the DOLE. Step 6. Period to decide. The labor arbiter who is in charge of processing such case will give the decision within 20 working days upon its submission. Step 7. Issue certification of employment. The employee is entitled to receive, on request, certification of his or her employment. Step 8. Submit report of dismissal. The employer shall submit a monthly report to the Department of Labor and Employment (DOLE) of all dismissals executed during the month. For all the many rights and policies that help enforce them, it is always best to check for the updated details from DOLE. Part 5. Self-quiz. How well do you understand and remember the important points in this lesson? Try your knowledge and answer these questions below. Fill in the blanks with a word that best completes each statement. Number 1 to 2. A worker has the right to receive a just blank and blank. Number 3. A worker is any member of the blank force, whether employed or unemployed. Number 4 and 5. Workers cannot be dismissed without blank and blank causes. List down the basic rights of a worker discussed in this lesson. How did you do? Did you remember all the important points of this lesson? If yes, then good. If you made some mistakes, don't worry. All you have to do is to read the parts of this lesson which aren't clear to you. We're also giving you a summary to help you remember the important points discussed in this lesson. In this lesson, you learned that workers have rights that are provided for in the Philippine Constitution and the Labor Code. Some of these rights are the right to receive just wages and benefits, the right to security of tenure, the right to due process of law, and the right to be heard and understood. In keeping with workers' right to security of tenure and due process of law, no worker or employee shall be terminated without just an authorized cause and without following the proper legal procedure. There you have it. We hope that the information we gave you will be very useful. Thanks for learning with me today. Always remember to log into your online account to boost learning. See you on the next episode. Ingat palagi mga ka-learners!